Jaden Hastings, William Kyle III, jumping center, and we are underway. Nathan George, the junior from Toronto, first year at Syracuse at the point. With Nate Kings, there's William Kyle. J.J. Starling, the senior leader on this team.
And they open up against a man-to-man.
Starling lobs it. Kyle had it broken up by Bowden Kepke.
That was a good idea, but the pass wasn't high enough.
I don't think he can be too high for William Kyle. He's going to go get it. Here's Luka Taves, who moved into the starting lineup for BC in early December. Unable to get his first assist as Kepke misses the three. Here comes Syracuse back the other way. No coincidence that with this man, Donnie Freeman, back in the lineup, everybody around him has been playing better.
Oh, no question. You got to pay attention to Freeman, and that creates more room for everybody else. Oh, my heavens. That's what you call maintaining your pivot foot, Doug. You just talked about Kyle. He is big, and he is strong, and he scores within 5 feet of the basket just about all the time.
Yeah, he shoots at a very high percentage because he's among the national leaders in dunks. That was a layup. He rarely takes a shot that's not a layup or a dunk. Taves on the switch into the paint, finds a man in the corner. Good closeout by Freeman. Down the lane, Campaign. And it looked like Kyle got a piece. Indeed, that's his first block shot, averaging nearly 3 per game. And on the rim run, he rewards himself with a layup.
Now that, I mean, he's really athletic, but that's a heck of a play. On the dead run, catching a pass that I'm not sure he expected, and is able to get it to the goal without putting it on the floor.
Now, William Kyle has had a marvelous college career. Started at South Dakota State, last year at UCLA. Just recently went for 1,000 career points. Bowden Kepke, the junior from Victoria, Minnesota, has BC on the board.
Well, now I think BC's got to be able to score close to the basket. Obviously, it helped to make some threes, but they've got to get the ball inside effectively.
Unforced turnover is...
Stand there, you know, just admiring what he did. He gets down the court and gets a basket.
Well, like you say, BC could use more offense inside. They've got big defensive-minded athletic players like Aiden Shaw and Jaden Hastings who don't give them much at this end of the floor. Is there a way to tap into that, Dan?
Well, you got to drive the ball to the basket. That's a great play by hand. You got to drive the ball to the basket because Syracuse is going to come and try to block it, and then your inside guys have to get positioned for offensive rebounds.
Nate Kings working on hand to the baseline, cut off, keeps the dribble. On second effort, misses. Nearly tapped in by mistake by Hastings. Eagles back with it, and a chance to take their first lead of the afternoon.
I think Boston College needs to take advantage of every transition opportunity they get.
Taves takes the bump. Contested shot, left it well short. Here comes Donnie Freeman. Kyle draws the second defender. That means Kings has a look.
And that's what you want to do. You want to force Syracuse to the outside. They've shot the three very well in the last couple games, but they're not noted for that. Offensive foul. Guys have to go to the goal so they can get a tip opportunity.
Kings again. This time he buries it. Syracuse back in front 7-4. Well, the numbers shooting for Nate Kings are not what was expected at 31%, transferring in from Oregon State. But in talking to Adrian Autry last night at their practice, he has full confidence. He says Nate Kings still is confident in that shot, just has to start making them. Off the turnover, Kings sets up Kyle, who lost it. Bodies fly, and Boston College has the ball. Payne hangs in the air, misses the shot. The Eagles will keep and pull it back out.
That was great hustle by Hastings.
Payne gets it back, draws two defenders. What's he going to do with it? Back out to Taves. Shot clock under 10. Running through the screen was Nate Kings. Hastings hit the deck, and the foul goes against the Orange. Timeout here in Chestnut Hill. William Kyle he's got 4 for Syracuse. Nate King's hit a 3. That's their 7 points. Kapke scored the first points today for BC. He's got 2 more, along with Donald Hand had a driving bucket. So that's where we are, nearly 5 minutes gone here at County Forum. J.J. Starling. Here's Freeman's first attempt from the floor. He has been very good shooting the basketball from beyond the three-point line. That one short by the point guard, Nathan George.
I think Syracuse really has to move the ball a little bit better than that. Particularly, I think they've got to get it inside. That was a long 3 by Freeman.
Off the Taves miss. Starling will bring it up. The 6'4" senior and leader of this team.
Aren't many people faster with the basketball than J.J. Starling.
Turns the corner. Off to Nate Kings. Has a step along the baseline. Draws the help defender. Now George again will try from the right side. And one of the ACC's premier setup men able to finish from the corner.
That's really a difficult shot. When you fake, you almost walk, and you still have to collect yourself.
Here's Fred Payne, averaging over 14 points per game. Freeman corrals the rebound. William Kyle sets the screen. Starling free from about 17. Good quickness by Kings to get that rebound from 2 BC rebounders. Caleb Steger has come into the game, number 30 for the Eagles, defending Kings, and he is going to be called for the blocking foul. The last Syracuse player to have back-to-back double-digit assist games was 9 years ago when John Gillen turned the trick. Kyan Anthony and Sadiq White, the 2 prized freshmen, have come into the game for the Orange. Here's Freeman. First 2 points for number 1 in Orange.
And you can't guard that. I mean, they made him put it down, so he didn't take the 3. But again, he's so good with the ball, that little spin. That wasn't bad defense. That's just a great offensive player.
Well, in his 4 ACC games this year, averaging 23 points, 7.5 rebounds per game. Chase Forte at the point for Boston College. He began the season as their starting 1. Gets the ball back. And the well-traveled veteran missed the rim on his first shot attempt. Terrific hustle by Hastings, but it's a shot clock violation because the Forte 3.
You take the ball out of the basket and try to score down on your end.
Well, he was the number 6 recruit coming out of high school last year. Has battled injuries, but now is healthy and going right back to work here this afternoon. St. John's in Washington, D.C. at the line. This has been another area where he has helped this team improve. He's a terrific free throw shooter, just a touch under 80%. And he gets to the line an awful lot.
Well, before conference play, Syracuse was like 62% from the free throw line, but in conference play, they're 76%. And a large part of that is that Freeman has been going to the line.
Now, thanks to the fact that BC has gone more than 2.5 minutes without any points, Syracuse on an 8-0 run. They go to Payne. He can't end the drought. Kapke will Heggles, as you say, Dan, now a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. It's back to a 3-point ball game, and Freeman took his eye off the pass and had it trickle off his left hand and out of bounds.
Well, this is a Boston College team that's loaded with tough guys. They're just not going to back down. And they've had great success driving the ball, and they ought to continue to do that.
Payne puts it up to the rim, and we've got a wedgie for the Orange. Grabs the rebound.
Again, Hastings not a very good free throw shooter either, only 50% on the year.
Betsy feeds inside to George. Creates space. Didn't factor, though.
And while they haven't been perfect here today, they're better than 57%. It's the free throw line that's brought it back in the game.
Syracuse has 4 starters plus Kyan Anthony on the floor. J.J. Starling, the other starter, will come in at the next stoppage, and it's a Syracuse turnover. The Eagles with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Well, if you're Syracuse, that's one thing you cannot afford to do. A team that struggles to shoot, you want to make them play against your set defense, and to the Orange credit, they did get back and have set their defense.
Forte. And that is the first basket in the game in over 5 minutes, and it leads to the first lead of the afternoon for Boston College.
And that is Forte's first three-point basket in ACC play.
Freeman gets it in. Kings is fouled before the shot. Either team, as we've talked about, shoots it particularly well, so I would think they'd want to get back to making buckets.
Well, Syracuse in particular, well over 50% in their last two outings from the field.
Luka Taves, starting point guard, back into the game, out there in the backcourt with Fred Payne. Here is Payne, averaging over 14 per game. The long two rattles out. Syracuse has gone 6 minutes between buckets. The drought ended on the Nathan George three.
But you expect George to pass the ball, and he's not a great three-point shooter, adequate. But Syracuse needed that.
Taves has his pass blocked. Able to get it back. BC keeps possession with 10 on the shot clock. Payne lost it, gets it back. Taves fills in on the backside. Misses the three. George puts up a tough shot. Kyle had his hands on it, but it's Boston College basketball, and behind the back is Aiden Shaw to get a couple of oohs and ahs from the student section right behind us, Dan Bonner.
Well, Adrian Autry might be oohing and ahhing at George because that was really a forced shot.
Taves from the elbow, no. Freeman wide open from three. And the struggles at this end for the Orange continue. They lead by 4, 23-19, final 5 minutes of the first half.
That ball had a really weird spin coming off his hand.
BC just 1 for its last 9. Hastings picks it back out. Payne uses the screen to get away from Starling for 3. Second triple of the afternoon for him, and it's back to a 1-point game.
Now that's the way Boston College wants to play. You get the clock down, you make the defense move, and then you hit an open shot, and that's something they had struggled to do during the course of the season.
Bad pass taken away by Boston College. Eagles trying to run. Taves leaves. The three by Payne. No. Missed opportunity for Boston College. George has it taken away. Payne says, give me that. He throws it up. And Shaw on the receiving end of the alley-oop. Freeman.
And keeping the Eagles in the game.
Well, Freeman has gone for 20 or more points in each of the last 3 Syracuse games. He's got a team-high 8 points right now, giving Syracuse the 2-point lead.
It's hard to describe what an important play that was by Freeman. You could just feel the momentum turning, and he cut it off immediately. Here's Syracuse back to the zone. And back in after a long time on the bench.
And he puts it right up. No, skying for the rebound is Freeman. Why has Adrian Autry gone more zone than we have seen the last couple of games?
Well, one of the reasons he's going zone today is they're having a hard time guarding Boston College driving the ball to the basket.
Freeman coughs it up. Hand by himself. Has no teammates with him, and they pull it back out. Kapke's return to the lineup for Boston College. They're starting big. Number 33 with the white headband. Here is Hand, the redshirt junior from Virginia Beach. Kapke. Defended one-on-one by William Kyle.
Ooh.
Freeman again up above the iron.
He's doing about everything he can do.
Kyan Anthony looking for his first points.
He's only a 23% three-point shooter on the season.
And some of that, to me, would be shot selection.
Yes, but that wasn't a bad shot.
Taves has it poked away by J.J. Starling. End-to-end with the finish.
Once Starling gets that ball and starts the other way, if he has a lead, you're not going to catch him. He just out-toughed Taves for that ball.
Points off turnovers pretty even though Syracuse has coughed it up 7 times to just 3 for BC. Another rebound for Donnie Freeman.
And Freeman and the Orange in general are doing a pretty good job rebounding. Not many offensive rebound opportunities for Boston College.
Freeman going to try to take advantage of his size. Spins away from Payne. Extra pass, finds Kings in the corner. Got it. Foul on the... Not unusual at all to see him out before and after practices. Just shooting free throws.
It doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it goes in, and his problem is it doesn't go in.
1 minute remaining.
Final minute of the first half here at County Forum. Syracuse has moved the lead back to 7.
Boy, Freeman had another mismatch inside, and they missed it.
Another Syracuse turnover. Nice job by Anthony to get a hand on it, but here comes Payne for the flush.
Boy, Boston College really needed that, and it's no surprise. It comes from their defense. You know, this first half hasn't been pretty, but it's been very gritty.
It on the sideline, up by 5. Starling glances back over to his head coach to reaffirm the call. I think he's asking, what time on the clock, coach, do you want me to go? Anthony uses the Kyle screen. 7 on the shot clock. On the switch, Anthony gets some separation. Misses the shot. Boston College with time. And a foul by Freeman.
Just when you think Syracuse might run away, Boston College climbs back in.
Freeman right down the lane, puts it up and in. 10 points for the sophomore from Washington, D.C., and as has been the case this month, since #1 returned from injury, he is the man for Syracuse.
Has 3 assists. Boston College only 4, so both defenses forcing a lot of one-on-one play.
Donald Hand, who had a quiet first half, just a couple of points. J.J. Starling, William Kyle, Donnie Freeman, Nate Kings, and Nathan George. Foul will send. You certainly don't want to go 0-2.
But just about everybody did last year.
Taves spotting up.
And that's what Taves can do. He's not going to drive to the basket. He's not going to out-physical anybody. But if you can get him an open 3, he's a pretty good three-point shooter.
44% on the year. Starling has a step. Hangs in the air and puts it in. An acrobatic move for the senior guard.
And that's he drives into a sea of shot blockers. Boston College very good knocking it away.
Kapke gets to Hand. Taves, the starting point guard. Get the ball to Hastings at the high post. Fred Payne, the other starter here in the second half for Boston College. And had it knocked out of bounds. BC will keep with 6 on the shot clock.
We've been talking about Starling and his quickness. This is a guy who loves to attack the basket. He just got by, and nothing Kapke can do about that because Starling hangs in the air. Kapke expected him to be in one place, and he was in a different one.
Hastings got to put it up. Clears out and is called for the offensive foul. Kyle stood his ground and drew the foul.
And when that elbow comes up, that's automatic for the official. They're okay right here, but he turns that shoulder and the arm comes out as well. And, you know, I would say in a lot of cases, you know, it's hard to knock Kyle that far, but I think Hastings can do it.
Well, it's always got to be in your mind if you are going against such a proficient shot blocker, one of the best this season in Syracuse program history, averaging about 3 blocks per game. Freeman had it poked away. His 4th turnover. Payne tracks it down, and it's 2 more points off of turnovers for BC.
Here Syracuse has a chance to extend the lead, but again, they turn it over, and Boston College converts it into points.
BC has led by 1 point on a couple of occasions back in the first half, 19-18 and 24-23. They are hanging around. A chance to tie it here with the basketball. Bad pass. J.J. Starling playing defensive back. There's Payne in perfect stance defensively. Starling to George, and on the double team. He's wide open, but misfires.
And keeps his timeout, because to challenge, you have to take a timeout. And if you lose the challenge, you lose your challenge, you lose your timeout. But he gets to keep his timeout and keep his challenge. But he only has 1 more challenge left, whether he's successful or not on the next one.
Kapke wide open. Donnie Freeman soars for another rebound, his 9th of the afternoon.
Now, that's always a tricky thing when you're doing that challenge, particularly this early in the game.
High-low, big-to-big, pays off for the Orange. Freeman.
I just wondered if that ball hung up on the air too long and one of the big guys could get to it, but the big guys were out at the top of the key.
13 to lead all scorers, and the lead is back to 6. Full court pressure for Syracuse.
And that's an issue for Boston College defensively, because they don't have anybody big enough to guard Freeman once there's a switch.
Yeah, positional size can be an issue for BC. Payne, no. Kyle fights for the rebound, but then throws it out of bounds. Back to Boston College.
Another turnover, and Kyle, I think, tried to get rid of that quickly because he felt like he was losing his balance. But the turnovers have really plagued Syracuse today. You say, well, unforced turnovers, but that wasn't really unforced. He was falling down, and he tried to get rid of it.
10th turnover for the Orange. Nate George got his hand on that, knocked it out of bounds. Taves and the Eagles, though, will keep.
So that's a perfect example of why referees never believe players, because there's no question that George knocked that ball out of bounds, but he turns around and says to the referee, no, it's our ball. It went off Taves.
But they can be influenced, can't they? A knee-jerk reaction, you've got someone definitively in your face saying, well, it's going the other way. That doesn't influence the call at all.
No, there's an easy answer to that question. It's no.
Okay. Payne, little floater. You know, he's a lefty on the perimeter, but get him in the lane, and he's going to finish with his right hand. 4 points per game.
Boston College, you got to move the ball.
Kapke goes to the floor. Starling dives for
That's a foul.
And he's going to be called for that foul.
All alone in the corner. That was excellent execution, and that's what can happen when you draw all those defenders with the drive.
And, Dan, that's a perfect example of what we've been talking about, that since Donnie Freeman returned to the lineup December 30th from injury, everybody else around him has seen a bump in their numbers. Payne. Nice job coming out of the timeout to get that look.
And particularly against the zone. Syracuse switched up to the zone, but Payne continues to be the guy. I mean, he's scored over 20 in his last 3 games, and he's closing in on that mark today.
He has got 15 points to lead everybody. There's the lob and the finish. George to Kyle.
And again, you draw the defense, and the shot blockers come, and that leaves the guy they're guarding open. And it doesn't help if you get one of those little guys down in there, because they can't do anything when they throw it up to Kyle.
Well, that is now 38 dunks this season for William Kyle, 6th most in the country. Carolina freshman phenom Caleb Wilson leads everybody in that category. Kapke against Freeman. Everything but the finish. And Syracuse has the ball. George, tough shot, swatted out of the air.
Intimidated by the guy guarding him taking the ball out of bounds, because it was Taves.
As you said, 11 assists and 13 assists his last 2 games, but his turnovers have been a problem so far this afternoon. for the rebound. And there's no violation. Kyan Anthony's also come back in for Syracuse. We have not seen much of the other freshman, Sadiq White. He picked up 3 early fouls in the first half, and he has not played since. Starling, no look pass to Freeman. Here comes Payne. Boston College down by 3. Payne off the hesitation. Nobody stopped him. He couldn't lay it in. Freeman, bad pass. Tried to thread the needle. No chance for that one to find its target.
Boy, he threw it down at Kyle's ankles and behind him. That just was not a good decision.
Let's go Eagles! Let's go Eagles! Let's go Eagles!
Boy, Boston College desperate when it's hand to get going.
Only 2 points today after a scoreless game last time out at Clemson. Another block shot by Kyle.
Mismatch inside. Taze is begging for help against Kyle, and that was very inefficient by Syracuse. There was that tremendous mismatch inside. Taze was screaming for help, and Syracuse never even gave it a look.
Taze all the way to the bucket, and it's a 1-point ball game.
That's the element of surprise right there. He very rarely drives it.
Starling down the lane. He gets it blocked.
Foul.
It's time they played here in this building.
Well, Chase Forte is the only other guy who's really putting up any points at all. He's got 9 points, but the key has been Boston College's defense keeping him in the game.
Kyle hands to Kings, who's had the hot hand in the second half. In trouble underneath, goes to that left hand and can't bank it home.
I think he thought he was going to get fouled. When you're surrounded like that, you find somebody to kick the ball out to.
Lob it up, way too far from the rim for Shaw, but there to clean it up, Jaden Hastings, tied at 55.
When you take the ball inside against shot blockers, all you got to do is get it over him, and that's going to leave somebody wide open. Kyle came for the ball and missed, and Hastings, nobody was anywhere around.
It's tied for the 5th time today.
A lot of dribbling.
Kings in traffic.
Syracuse drops into the zone.
George and Starling defending out front with Kings. Kyle and Freeman the bigs. Forte drives and dishes. Just back into the game to miss that shot, Caleb Steger, but it's an offensive rebound for BC. The possession continues.
Tough to rebound out of that zone sometimes. But they're in zone because they're trying to stop the dribble penetration.
3 to shoot. Forte gets it up on the rim. Forte gets it up on the rim and draws the foul on Starling. The gymnastics season is underway, and this is our first ACC Network meet. Tomorrow afternoon, number 13 Stanford squares off against number 11 North Carolina at Carmichael Arena in Chapel Hill. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, and it's also available on the ESPN app. Carolina has a good one, and Gwen Fink, the reigning ACC gymnast of the week, a chance to see them tomorrow afternoon here on ACC Network.
And again, we said before the game, neither one of these teams are great free throw shooters, and in a tight game, that's a problem.
Forte missed them both, and that is the 10th rebound of the day, extending a season high for Donnie Freeman. All 10 have come on the defensive end.
But he's only got 3 points in the second half.
The Orange have gone scoreless again for more than 2 minutes. Another near turnover off of those turnovers. Here is George. King spins. Tough shot. Upseat returns with under 5 minutes to go. So Kings sits with a team-high 20 points. Shaw tripped. Freeman.
Time, but
that was a non-shooting foul, and so it's a baseline inbounds for Boston College. This is Payne. And gives it back to Payne. He's got 20 points. The most for the Eagles so far. Hand tries to create. Nothing doing that time.
he just went against a bigger guy. You know, Betsy did a nice job moving his feet. That's a really tough shot.
Starling attacks from the left. William Kyle got a hand on it to keep it alive for the Orange.
Where Starling has been really aggressive.
George into the lane. Absorbs the contact. No whistle. He's looking for a call, but Boston College comes back the other way with numbers. Payne. No. Lob it inside. William Kyle comes down with it, kicks it back out, and Starling says, let's hold on a second, fellas. Freeman one-on-one. Well, the largest lead so far today, Syracuse was up 9 in the first half. As Freeman makes the free throw, he is now 4 for 4 from the stripe today and 13 of his last 14 over the last 3 games.
And obviously in a game like this, everything is important, but you go to the free throw line and you miss them, it's almost like a turnover.
Perfect swish on the second. 15 for Freeman, and the lead is once again 5.
And Boston College has been able to respond in this situation every time.
But they've not scored a basket in over 3 minutes. Hand tries to change that. Can't do it. Freeman rips another rebound away.
That's really a tough shot. And again, Starling's not 6'8" like Betsy was, but he's taller than Hand, or at least as tall as Hand, and that's really tough to get that shot up.
And as a senior, Starling has really committed himself this year to the defensive end. Freeman lost it, and he's going to be tied up. 6 fouls this half committed by Syracuse, 7 by Boston College. Free throws the rest of the way. Here's Freeman. Aggressive to the left hand.
Wow.
Can BC come out of another drought, Dan? They've missed their last 4 shot attempts.
Well, they've responded all afternoon long.
Kapke gets Kyle up in the air and makes him pay.
You know, Kapke scored inside early, and we haven't heard much from him since.
Freeman isolated.
He
steps through, and he did travel.
You throw it to somebody, they throw it right back. You can start again.
6 turnovers now by Freeman.
Syracuse back in the zone.
Hand gives it back to Payne. Deep 3, nothing but net for Donald Hand Jr.
That is a big shot for Hand personally and for the Eagles.
George on the floor for the Orange. They put it in King's hands, and he delivers again.
What a great job inside by Kyle, just blocking the way. You know, he screened off Hastings, prevented him from getting the block shot.
Payne went to the floor. It's a one-possession game. Orange with it up by 3.
Now, you don't want to get conservative if you're Syracuse, but you also don't want to take a bad shot early.
Forte takes the basketball away. George then returns the favor. And I believe that George stepped out of bounds. It's time and again.
It's not just turnovers. Boston College has 9 steals.
Hand, Payne, and Forte, who has been playing heavy minutes off the bench today for BC and playing well. Working on George. Kapke for 3. And Freeman pulls it down. 10-second difference between game and shot clocks. George double team. Gets rid of it to Freeman. Pass knocked out of bounds. He had Starling.
So Syracuse has some options. But Steger is matched up against Freeman, so there's that size advantage we were talking about.
Starling gets it into Freeman, and they give up the foul. And will send Freeman for 80%.
But it's a 1-on-1. It's only a 1-on-1.
And he missed it. Long rebound, out of bounds. Who's got it? Boston College. Shaw inbounds. Forte into the front court. 10 seconds left in regulation. Hand ties it. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. BC will get a chance on the heave to win it. And we are
at the end of the game. If you're up 3, you foul, but you don't want to do that with like 10 seconds left.
Well, we've talked about the fact that with their 3-game winning streak, Syracuse has been sniffing the bubble. Joe Lunardi has them on his latest bracketology, but a loss here at Boston College, and that would go away for a while. Huge stakes for Syracuse. Boston College looking for its first league win. Freeman. Kyle has it, goes up strong, missed it. Kings had it for a moment, but Boston College comes away with it. Payne dumps it off, and the hammer by Aiden Shaw.
Shaw's defense against Freeman has been a key here down the stretch. And now he gets...
As William King III at the line. Hand turns down the screen, lost it out of bounds, but it'll stay at this end with Boston College.
Well, now after hitting those 2 big shots, Hand looked like he was trying to be more aggressive that time, take the ball to the basket.
Well, this is the 4th time, Dan, Boston College has gone to overtime this year. They're 0-3 in OT and have been outscored in the extra sessions a combined 44-27. Up by 2 here, looking to build on it. Forte off the window. It's a 4-point Boston College lead. Kings inside to Freeman. Faked right, went left. The finger roll makes it a 2-point game.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, is get him operational and inside. A little bit more success than when they had him out on the perimeter.
Hand. Off of 2 feet, under control, no. BC on the offensive glass keeps possession.
Now that was a tough shot, but he drew about everybody on the Syracuse defense, so there's nobody available to block out.
Jaden Hastings now with 12 rebounds today. And how about the finish? Hastings on the receiving end of the lob pass.
Now how about the pass? Fred Payne just very patient coming off that screen. Wow.
to the post for Freeman. Blocked. Boston College's defense continues to be the difference. And they immediately turn it into 2 points at the other end.
And Hastings, Shaw also has 8 rebounds, so they've got 17 points and 20 rebounds between them.
Kings down the lane. He draws with 3 big points, extending his career high to 25 points.
But now, if you're Syracuse, you don't have to take any crazy chances, but you have to dig in defensively, get a stop, and rebound the ball, which is they've had a problem doing here recently.
Forte in pain in the backcourt for Boston College. Forte attacks.
Now goes out of the game, and Betsy comes in because Syracuse is looking for some offense here. Boston College going to pressure in the backcourt.
Betsy has not scored today, but last game he scored 18, his career high. Inside they go to Freeman, and he throws it away.
He's got a foul.
Perfect swish. Boston College again up 6. Starling, no. Long rebound to the corner. It's Syracuse ball.
Boston College looks like they're going to challenge. Nope, they decided not to.
Well, Boston College has been dominated in this rivalry, winning only once against Syracuse in the last 7 years. They played from behind for the most part here today,